Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, passion for excellence.
Here are today's top headlines. Car sales are soaring in Japan, in India, and China. President Obama names a new head of NHTSA, and the EPA debates whether to increase the blend rate for ethanol. Up next, we'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Tuesday, the 1st of December, 2009, and now the news. In a signal that the global economy is making a comeback, sales of new cars are soaring in Japan. Bloomberg reports that sales jumped 36% in Japan last month, which is the fourth straight increase ever since the government started offering generous incentives to spur car sales. Toyota was up 29%, Nissan up 33%, Honda saw sales surge an eye-popping 73%. Meanwhile, the Wall Street Journal reports that the same sort of thing is happening in India. Maruti, which is the biggest automaker in India and affiliated with Suzuki, saw sales jump an impressive 67%. Hyundai was up 29%, Honda up 24%. Of course, this compares sales to a year ago when the Indian economy, like everyone else's, was collapsing. Now, over to China, where car sales have been booming all year long thanks to government incentives and a red-hot economy. Gasgoo reports that China's Ministry of Finance and its top economic planners say the country will not only keep those incentives, it will broaden them to include even more models. Up to now, those incentives cut the sales tax in half on cars with engines of 1.6 liters or smaller. The new incentives will include all models. Also in China, last week we reported that Geely's management refused to tell Volvo's union leaders where it was getting the money to take over the company. Well, now we know. According to Reuters, the company is looking for at least $1 billion in loans from Chinese banks to finance the $1.8 billion deal, and it's already secured loans from 3 different banks. President Obama is expected to announce today his nomination to head the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. According to the Detroit News, David Strickland, a former congressional aide who has helped work on automotive safety and environmental legislation, is the president's pick. The agency has been run by an interim administrator for the last 10 months after Obama's first choice was dropped due to concerns from environmentalists. And while we're speaking of the government, the Detroit News reports that the EPA is expected to announce today whether or not to increase the amount of ethanol that's mixed in with gasoline. Currently, the blend rate is at 10%, and the agency will decide if it should increase that to 15%. Automakers are against the increase until further testing is done on whether that increase could harm engines, and that could delay the EPA's decision. Coming up next, we'll take a look at Volkswagen's hydrogen-powered Tiguan.
Changing tires out here could be dangerous, but with these tires, I don't need to worry.
Bridgestone.
As you know, Volkswagen recently invited us to Germany to test drive its new 6th-generation Golf. While we were there, the company also showcased some of the advanced technology it's working on. Amongst other things, VW let us drive its fuel cell-powered Tiguan High Motion, and here's a closer look at what it's like behind the wheel. Since electric motors produce so much torque, this hydrogen-powered crossover moves off the line with authority. Acceleration is surprisingly brisk, with 0 to 60 taking about 14 seconds. Top end is 93 miles an hour, not that we got anywhere close to that speed on our short test. These performance numbers are surprisingly livable, especially given the high-motion Tiguan's relatively low power output. Total power output from the powertrain is only 100 kilowatts, or about 134 horsepower. Acceleration is smooth and feels totally normal, but braking was another story. The pedal was very squishy and difficult to modulate, probably because engineers have to fine-tune the regenerative braking. The fuel cell Tiguan holds 3.2 kilograms of hydrogen in tanks mounted under the floor, which give it a 160-mile range. The 22 kilowatt lithium-ion battery pack is mounted beneath the cargo area in the back, meaning no interior space is lost. GM and, of course, Honda have both been pushing hydrogen as a possible fuel of the future, and it's good to know other automakers are doing the same. Now, all they have to do is drive down the cost and complexity of those fuel cells and make hydrogen affordable and readily available. And good luck on that. Hey, don't forget to tune in for our live webcast from the LA Auto Show tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Time. That's 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time and 19:30 GMT. We've got a lineup of people coming on the show to give you the latest news as it breaks from the floor of the show. And then on Thursday night, Autoline After Hours will also be coming to you live from LA, so join us for 2 great shows. And that is it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.